Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to learn about the physiology of external and middle ear. Ear is a special sense organ that is responsible for hearing, or that is responsible for the conversion of mechanical energy of vibration into electric potential. Ear consists of three main parts: the external ear, the middle ear, and the internal ear. In today's lecture we are going to learn about the external and middle ear. We are going to the first slide. In this slide we can see that the external ear is represented by the black color and the middle ear is represented by the blue color. The blue color represents the middle ear and the black color represents the external ear. The external ear ranges from the pinna to the tympanic membrane. This is the tympanic membrane or eardrum, and this is the pinna, the outer part, which we can see with the help of our eyes. So from pinna to the tympanic membrane is the external ear. The pinna is the external part of the external ear, which we can see with the help of our eyes, and which is just like the shape of trumpet. I'm going to show you. This is the played surface of the trumpet, and this is trumpet. So the pinna resembles this trumpet, and this is to receive the sound waves. How this receives the sound waves, I'm going to tell you in detail. First, I'm going to show you the label diagram. This is the helix. This is called antihelix. This is called the earlobe. This is called the soft part of this auricle is called earlobe, and this is the cartilaginous part. This is the auditory orifice. This is the auditory orifice, or a hole which leads to external acoustics meatus. This is called auditory orifice, and the depression which leads to auditory orifice. This depression is called concha. The sound waves must come through the concha, to the uh, auditory orifice, and that will go through the external acoustics meatus to the eardrum. So the auricle, which is the external part of the external ear, this is auricle, and this auricle, the anterior surface of the auricle consists of large number of hairs and large number of sebaceous glands which secrete sebum, oil-like secretion. The posterior surface of this ear, or this auricle, consists of the posterior surface consists of what? It consists of large number of sweat glands. Why this consists of sweat gland on posterior surface, and why this consists of sebaceous gland on anterior surface? Because the anterior surface consists of sebaceous gland which secretes sebum, and sebum is oil-like secretion, and oil has the speciality or property to absorb the sound waves, while the posterior surface consists of sweat gland which secretes sweat, and sweat contain large quantity of water, or salty solution, or saline. So that saline or water reflect the sound waves, or that rebounds the sound waves, while the sebum do not rebound the sound, they absorb the sound waves. Why this is on anterior surface and the sweat is on posterior surface? Because when the sound waves come and strike the anterior surface, will be absorbed over here, that will not be rebounds or reflected. Why this is not reflected or rebound? Because if the sound waves are bouncing with the anterior surface, it means that the sound waves will also come in contact with this concha, and if the sound waves are coming to the concha, that will eventually lead to the external acoustic meatus. If the sound waves are going to strike this helix anteriorly, it means that this sound wave will also strike this area. This will also strike this area, and that will go through the external acoustic meatus. But with the posterior surface of the helix, it means that that sound is not going to strike this area. that is not going to strike the concha, because that is striking a posterior surface. So the posterior surface is made up of a large that consists of sweat gland, and sweat gland secretes sweat. So the sweat will rebounds or reflect the sound, and that sound will eventually go through this area, and that will go through concha, and that will goes lead to the external acoustic meatus. So the sweat gland is to rebounds the sound or reflect the sound, and the sebaceous gland is to absorb the sound. So this is external acoustics meatus. External acoustics meatus. I'm going to write it. First was the auricle. The second is external acoustics meatus. So the external acoustics meatus consists of, this is external acoustics meatus, which is up to 2 inch in length. And among these 2 inch, 1 inch is the bony structure, and 1 inch or less than 1 inch is the cartilaginous surface or cartilaginous boundary. This is the cartilaginous part of the external acoustics meatus. Which is less than 1 inch, and this is the bony part of the external acoustic meatus, which is up to 1 inch. This is 1 inch in length, and this is less than 1 inch. This is the temporal bone, which gave the bony structure to the bony part of the external. This is the temporal bone, and this is the cartilage, which gave cartilaginous part of the external acoustic meatus, or which make the cartilaginous part of the external acoustic meatus. The whole external acoustic meatus consists of hairs on the surface, consist of hair on the epithelial surface. So these hair avoid the dust particles and microbes and many other to get entered into external acoustic meatus. They block the all these dust particles, etc. But the entrance point consists of large hairs, long hair are at entrance point. As it goes onward, the hairs are going to be short, and the hair on the cartilaginous surface are stiff, strong and stiff, while the hair on the bony part are not stiff or strong. They are fine hairs, and our hair on only on the superior or the superior surface, on the superior surface of the bony acoustic meatus, there are fine hair, not on the interior surface. Interior surface also consists of some hair, but that is very negligible in number. And the superior surface, the inferior surface consists of negligible number of what? No, negligible number of fine hair, and the superior surface consists of large number of fine hair, while this consists of superiorly, interiorly, and laterally large number of stiff hairs and strong hair, to avoid any dust particle to go through it. Now, what about these hair also consist of the sebaceous glands throughout the external acoustic meatus. Sebaceous glands are there, as I have mentioned over here. Sebaceous gland are in the cartilaginous part as well as on the bony part of the external acoustic meatus. But there is another gland, the ceruminous gland, which is only present in the cartilaginous part. The ceruminous gland, I'm going to write. This is important gland, ceruminous gland, which contain a fluid that is called cerumen. Cerumen is a fluid that is secreted by the ceruminous gland. Ceruminous gland is actually the modified form of the sweat gland, and sweat glands are of two types. One is apocrine sweat gland, and the ecrine sweat gland. This is the apocrine type of the sweat gland. The apocrine part of type of the sweat gland, I'm going to show you. I have there in the picture also. This is the apocrine. This one, you can see over here that This is the sweat gland. The sweat gland which opens through the hole of the hair, not hair, the sweat gland which open through the hole of the hair, that sweat gland is called what? That is called apocrine sweat gland. And the sweat gland which opens directly into the skin, that is called eccrine sweat gland. So the surface of the external acoustic meatus consists of this type of sweat gland, this type of gland, not this type of gland. But this gland is also not a normal apocrine sweat gland. This is a modified form of sweat gland which is called ceruminous gland. The ear consists of modified type of sweat gland that is called ceruminous gland, which consists of, which secrete a sticky type sweat, which secrete sticky sweat. And this also consists of this gland. This is called what? This is called sebaceous gland. The ear also consists of sebaceous gland. So the sebaceous gland secrete the sebum, and the sweat gland secrete ceruminous gland secrete the cerumen. So the cerumen and the sweat, the cerumen and the oil are the sebum. The cerumen and the sebum combine together with the epithelial cell which are shed from the surface, the epithelial cell, and form wax. I'm going to write it. This is very important. The wax, that is called air wax, or the wax of the ear. So this wax is the combination of cerumen. This is the combination of cerumen plus sebum plus epithelial cells. So the combination of epithelials, the shed epithelial cells plus sebum plus cerumen make what? These make what? These make the ear wax. And ear wax is very important for the ear. Why this is important for the ear? Because this avoid any dust particle and any microbe and any insect. It also kill the insect which goes through this internal external acoustics meatus that kill the microbe, that kill that also kill the insects, etc. So this there is another wonderful thing in the external acoustic meatus, that the epithelial cells of the of this external acoustic meatus, or the surface of this acoustic meatus, the growth of these cells take place from internal surface to the external surface. This grows from internal to external surface. This do not grow just like normal skin. The normal epithelial surface of the normal epidermis grow just like the grows naturally, in which it goes from lower surface to the upper surface. It also grows from lower surface to the upper surface, but the growth is not vertical. The growth of the skin is not vertical. The growth is from this area to this area. So it means that after a few months, this surface is going to be exposed to this area, and this surface is renewed. The surface of this epithelial cell is going to expose to this area, or is going to reach from this area to this area after a few months. Not just like the normal skin. The normal skin growth, if this was normal skin, then its growth will be vertical. Its growth will be vertical. The normal skin, its growth will be vertical, so there will be a lot of chances to clodge this external acoustics meatus with the dust particle and many other microbes, etc. But this external acoustic meatus, the cell surface is growing from internal surface to external surface. So it shed out all the epithelial cell, and it shed out all the wax, and it shed out all the dust particle to get rid through this auditory orifice. So this was something special about this external acoustics meatus. Now, one other thing, that this bony structure, this bone is the temporal bone. This is the temporal bone of the external acoustics meatus, and this temporal bone is having a modified structure that is called stylized process. I'm going to write it. This is called stylized process. Stylized process is also very important. This stylized process is this is the modified form of the temporal bone. This is not among the temporal bone. In some books, this is categorized under the temporal bone, but this is not temporal. But this is a separate bone, which is attached to the temporal bone, and this is stylized process. And this stylized process do what? This stylized process work as an anchor for variety of muscles of the face. Variety of muscles of the face and throat goes and anchor with this stylized process. So when we chew some food, when we chew something with the help of our teeth, what happens? This stylized process is going to move up and down. When this stylized process is going to move up and down due to attached muscle with this stylized process, what happens? This external acoustic meatus, or this canal, is also going to move up and down. By moving up and down, what happens? This wix is also going to move from this surface to this area. So sorry. So the chewing process give this stylized process upward and downward movement, and that upward and downward movement do what? It helps the wax to move out of the external acoustics meatus. And this was about the external acoustic meatus. Now coming towards the tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane is a you can say a translucent type membrane that is very thin, and you can see this membrane with the help of otoscope. By inserting the otoscope into the ear, and by inserting the otoscope into the ear, you can also see this bone, this which is attached with the this ossicle, which is attached with this tympanic membrane. So onward this tympanic membrane or eardrum, which start the middle ear start. The middle ear consists of what? The middle ear consists of ossicles, three ossicles. These ossicles are the malleus, incus, and stapes. Malleus, incus, and stapes. The malleus is a hammer-like bone. The malleus is a hammer-like bone. That is why this is called malleus. Malleus is the word which mean the hammer, which mean hammer. This is hammer-like structure. And this incus is an anvil-like structure. That's why this is called incus. Incus is anvil-like structure. I'm going to show you in the figure. This is hammer, and this is the head of the hammer, and this is the manubrium of the hammer. Just like the hammer of the ear also consists of uh, the head and the manubrium. So this also consists of head and manubrium. This is the head, and this is the manubrium. And the second one is the anvil. This is anvil on which this exists, on which this is put, on which the hammer is put. This structure is called anvil. So the shape of the anvil, the shape of the incus is just like the anvil. That is why this is anvil. The shape of this bone, the shape of this bone is just like the anvil. That is why this is called what? That is why this is called ancus. And this ancus is having, this is the body of the ancus, and this is the lenticular process of the ancus. This part of the ancus is called lenticular process, and this is called the body of the ancus. This is called the head of the malleus, and this is called the manubrium of the malleus. Similarly, this structure, the third bone, which is the smallest bone in the body, you can call it the smallest bone in the body, the stapes. And stapes is just like the shape of stirrup. That is why this is called stape. The shape of it resembles the shape of stirrup. I'm going to show you the stirrup. This is stirrup. This is stirrup, and this is also a stirrup. So the shape of stirrup resemble the shape of the steps. That is why this is called steps. Steps mean stirrup. So this stirrup also consists of a head, a neck, crus, and foot flat. This is the foot flat, this is the crus, this is the neck, and this is the head. Now this steps is attached with the oval window. This is attached with the oval window. This is membranous window. This membrane is just like the tympanic membrane. This membrane is just like the tympanic membrane. This malleus is attached with the tympanic membrane with the help of ligaments. Large number of ligaments connect this hammer or this malleus with the tympanic membrane. This malleus is also connected with the incus with the help of ligaments, and this incus is attached with the steps with the help of ligaments. I have not made ligaments in the diagram, but all of these bones are attached with the help of ligaments, and this stirrup or this steps is attached with the oval window with the help of ligaments. So what happens? This oval window consists of a membrane just like the tympanic membrane. Similarly, um, when the sound waves comes through this external acoustics mediators, it strike with the tympanic membrane, and when it strike with the tympanic membrane, it start vibration. When this tympanic membrane start vibration, what happen? This malleus also start vibration. When this malleus start vibration, this vibration is transferred to the incus, and when incus start vibration, this vibration is transferred to the steps, and when the steps start vibration, this vibration is transferred to the oval window, and this when this oval window start vibration, this vibration is transferred to the internal ear, to a fluid in the internal ear. I will show you in the next lecture about the internal ear. The external ear consists of air. The middle ear also consists of air. Over here there is air, and the pressure of the air over here is 760 millimeter. The pressure of air is also 760 millimeter over here. How it maintain the 760 millimeter of air over here? This middle ear is connected with the nasopharynx over here. This is connected with the pharynx with the help of a tube, and that tube is called eustachian tube. This is a tube. The tube consists of epithelial cells, and these epithelial cells are surrounded by the cartilaginous part, cartilaginous structure. So this cartilaginous tube, which connect the nasopharynx or the pharynx with the middle ear to maintain the pressure, the external and internal pressure. If you people have noted that when we are going to move from earth to above to a hill, when we are going upward from the earth through vehicle or through various conveyance, so what happens? The pressure above the earth is going to drop. When the pressure is going to drop, the pressure is decreasing, the pressure of air, when the pressure of air is decreasing, when we are going upward, what happens when we are moving in the aeroplane also? What happens? The pressure of air is decreasing. When the pressure of air is decreasing, for example, the pressure of air drop externally from 760 to 750, what will happen? The internally the pressure is 760, so the 10 millimeter of air will be evacuated. This air will leak out through this nasopharynx, through this eustachian tube to the nasopharynx. So the internal pressure will also become 750. But if the external pressure is increasing, if this is increasing from the 760 to 761, what will happen? From 7 If this is increasing from 760 to 761, or from 770 to 780, or 780 to 781, what will happen? The internal pressure will also increase by absorbing the air from nasopharynx to the middle ear. So when you are going to absorb the air from the nasopharynx to the middle ear, or when we are going to evacuate the air from this middle ear to this nasopharynx, what happened? At that point, we are going to feel some tingling. We are going to feel some sensation inside our middle ear. So that sensation or ringing of sound is due to the to maintain the pressure externally and internally. One other thing that is also very important, uh, the muscles which are attached to the manubrium of the hammer. This hammer is attached with the muscle, and this muscle is called tensor tympani. This is the tensor tympani. This tensor tympani, the tendon of this tensor tympani is attached with the manubrium, and the another tendon, the tendon of this muscle tensor tympani is also attached with this cartilage. So with the cartilage which is all around the eustachian tube. So this muscle do what? This muscle maintain this tympanic membrane in tensed form. That is why this is called tensor tympani. I'm going to write the name of this muscle. This is very important muscle. uh, Tensor tympani. So, what is the function of tensor tympani? The function of tensor tympani is to maintain this tympanic membrane in tense form. It maintain this tympanic membrane in tense form, and when this tympanic membrane start vibration by sound, when they start vibration, what happen? This convert the vibration, or this transfer the vibration to the medius, and this medius transfer the vibration to the incus, and then to stirrup, and then to oval window, and then to the fluid, the perilimb. So what happened after? After few milliseconds, this tensor tympani is contracted. This start contraction, and it due to the contraction of this tensor tympani, this vibration is the vibration produced in this tympanic membrane is annulled, or this is nullified, this is stopped, this is inhibited. The vibration of this tympanic membrane is inhibited by this tensor tympani. There is another muscle which is also called stapedius. This is the smallest muscle in the body, which is attached with the bone. This is called stapedius muscle, and this stapedius muscle is attached with the neck of the stapes, and this is also to maintain this stapedius muscle also get contracted after the vibration is transferred to the oval window. When the vibration is transferred to the oval window, this is contracted, and when this is contracted, this is no more transferring the vibration to the oval window, because the vibration has been transferred. That is sufficient for to hear the sound. When the vibration is transferred, there is no need to transfer another vibration. So this stop the vibration for a while, and then wait for another sound wave to come and vibrate these ossicles. So these three are combined called ossicle. One important mechanism inside this or function of this tensor tympani is to, or stapedius, is to avoid any damage, to this tympanic membrane and oval window and the whole ear. It avoid during very sharp sound, or during very loud sound, when this tympanic membrane is going to vibrate very heavily during very heavy sound. What will happen? This start at tympanic reflex. That is called tympanic reflex. Tympanic reflex is a phenomena in which the tensor tympani and the stapedius muscle is contracted. This is contracted, and this is not relaxed after a few milliseconds. This is not relaxed. This get contracted, and this make these ossicle in contracted form. These make these ossicle combined together to avoid any vibration of this sound during very loud sound. Why? To avoid any damage to avoid any damage to the to the no, to the internal ear or middle ear or external ear also. So this is called tympanic reflex. This muscle is attached with this tympanic reflex is start by a nerve, and this tympanic tensor tympani is attached with the neuron, and that neuron is responsible for this motor neuron is responsible, since sensory and motor neuron both are responsible for this tympanic reflex. And that neuron, or that nerve, is nerve number 5, that is called trigeminal nerve. Trigeminal nerve is responsible for the sensitization of this muscle. Trigeminal nerve, or innervation of this muscle, is provided by the trigeminal nerve, while the innervation of this muscle is provided by the nerve number 7, that is facial nerve. Stapedius muscle is provided by the facial nerve, and the trigeminal nerve give innervation to the tensor tympani.